Well, a little bit about this property. I told you before it's 8 acres, and this is my front gate, and this is my road. Right across the street, I don't know if it's visible or not, but there's a couple horses, and there's probably another truck coming down the road because, yep, Texas is littered with trucks. I am south facing right now. It's a rectangular property, 8 acres, and this practically faces south. So if I turn right, this is west where the sun is setting. If I go about here is north, and this is east. There's my neighbor's property and the gate right there. It's about 1.5 acres wide, and I'll start making my way a little bit north. Immediately here on the left is a storage shed, and this right here, this little road, so to speak, is where there used to be a driveway. All through here, as right where this is the RV pad. That's where the other trailer is going to go. It's plenty of room, plenty of space. You can see the septic hookup right there, along with the water bibs. There's like 3 of them in one spot there. Comes complete with its own little storage shed. And then this over here is all just wooded area. The power lines are up here. Power company has access to the property, so they come back every couple years and inspect it to see if they have to trim any branches on the power lines, which run along and through the property. The power, that circuit breaker right there is disconnected, so power's not running to the RV pad. That's something I gotta fix here shortly. So if I roll through my little RV pad, I'll come back, and now I'm walking east. When you go back up on the driveway, now the property itself, the house, is settled on like about the first 3 acres of the property, approximately. So we've got all these, some of these old growth, some of these are fairly young, maybe 25 or 30-year-old oak trees, and some other things here and there. And all along there's some prickly pear cactuses, and if you can see it, there's plenty of wildflowers that bloom. It's been raining, so it's quite green right now, which I'm very happy and very proud of. There's the old truck and the carport where that's set up, and over there is the garden. I'm walking west now towards this weird building, which really isn't a building, so to speak. It's the booster pump house. I have well, and I have connections to the town reservoir as well. Once upon a time, when there was multiple houses on this property, or mobile homes, if you will, the homeowner decided to put a booster pump in so he could boost it. Well, this booster pump pushed too much pressure, and it would run his meter back. So the bib over here, the water shut off right here on the ground, I could easily reconnect and go right back to it. But the guy ended up having a well built, and he put a well in 460 feet. The son of a bitch has never run dry or had any problems whatsoever during any drought. This big old building here is just a water reservoir. It has a solenoid. When it gets certain water level, it shuts off. And that just helps whenever you use water in the house. It draws from that water and it boosts it to the house, and then the well slowly fills up the reservoir again. A lot of folks think it's for irrigation, but in this case it's used just for that, just for the homes, and multiple homes. Hard to see, but here's my tower, and that's a 40-foot high-speed internet tower that the local internet company installed, and that's so it goes up over the trees and it goes back to the main thing, so I can get about 4 megs per second, or excuse me, 4 gigs per second download speed or some shit like that. There's the end of the house, which if I continue to walk west in this direction. Just beyond those trees that are right in the forefront is my fence that runs north. And so here is the side of the house with a nice little open area. And this open area we can't really put anything on. It's all drain fields for my septic. And the grass is a bit high. We got to run our riding mower here soon enough, and we'll be teaching the boy how to do that for sure. Behind the house I got a nice little shack for firewood, and there's a propane tank back behind that tree, and that's purely for just using gas for cooking. That's it. Everything else is electric. So that propane, that big old 250 gallon tank, you fill it halfway and that thing will last you about 2 years without refilling. So, which is good because propane is rather expensive. I'm walking back east again, and all these are nice thickly settled trees. There's a lot of brush in here. There's a lot of deadfall in here that Xavier and I have to clear out. Again, we bought this property from an older gentleman who, in his 70s, he couldn't really take care of so much stuff anymore. And his wife is a little bit older too. And they really wanted to move closer to medical care because I guess some of them have some medical conditions. Here, more trees, more trees, more trees. Nice and thickly settled. Cool thing is, I want to point out, see this stupid thing here? So that's just a water spigot, and it's got a flower pot over the top of it, and to hold it down and protect it. But there's 30 plus on this property. There's like 30 plus access points for water anywhere in irrigation on this property. Now the guy said straight up he's capped off about half of them, so you can only find about 15 of them. There's like 3 down there. Here's one over here, and all that is to water some really beautiful vegetation and flowers. We have honeysuckle, we have grapes over here under the pergola. We have a number of different things that are growing that require irrigation, especially in the dead heat of Texas. But things seem to thrive very well. Now I want you to keep in mind we just moved in, so the property is, especially around the house, is still a wreck, and we have an awful lot to do. But this is what it looks like when you approach the house. Nice little walkway here, and I'm facing west. But oh, see this whole building right here? This whole thing is just nothing but a workshop. And that's exactly where I'm going to put all my tools. I'm going to do all my stuff. And I even brought some of my leftover wood over here with me. I have a trailer that I bought, along with the trailer, a riding mower, and several other things I bought for $1,200. Can you believe it? And the riding mower is only 1 season old. The porch. So, and when I go this direction, there's a lot of deer here, so they love to eat up on all the flowers and the things that are growing. And if you don't put this fencing wire up, they will completely decimate this place. So the previous owner had lots and lots and lots of plants all over. There's another water bib right up front, and so there's a lot of different things that we're going to clean up and take care of. Some things are here temporarily, like these trash cans. She built this nice, long, ridiculous looking flower bed thing for whatever reason. But really what it does is the sewer line comes out of the house, and it's fed and protected on either side. So she kind of built this weird flower box looking thing to hide it, more or less. Once upon a time, there used to be another single wide right here, and that's the stairs to it. And as I walk through and under all this beautiful shade for the tree, this is the busted up pergola. And I was going to tear this sumbitch down. I was going to hook this shit up to my truck and drag it all over the place. But because as you can see, it's leaning. But what you kind of can see, but not really, is all that green growth on the top. That is all grapes. I couldn't tell you exactly what kind, but probably by midsummer we will have some grapes growing. So we have to make sure we irrigate them well. And Kirsten just stepped out to go walk the dog to go take a shit. Badass. Over here beside the shop, this is kind of like a mini bed. Not a flower bed, but it has some lettuce, like some chard or some shit in there. I don't know what that's called, honestly. And some other things. Right in the back, I'll try to hold this steady. I know it's really hard to see. There's these really tiny tomatoes that are not like any bigger than your thumbnail. And they are the most intense and greatest tasting tomatoes I think I've ever had. I'd probably take a few of them and I'd put them in a sauce just to liven it up with the flavor. The deck and the patio, and I'm not gonna go in the house, but because my wife would kill me. So we have this beautiful deck they put in here. It's got a steel and tin roof. I have a lot of great plans for this. Here coming up, wraps around this side of the house. There's tons of seating over here in the corner. And this side and that corner, I got a fridge already that's going to go there. I'm going to grab some driftwood from a pile in the back, and I'm going to build me a bar right there. Right here in the corner, I'm going to put in kind of like a wet sink, at least a rinsing sink, since I have so many freaking water bibs around this place. And then there's another one. And a previous homeowner thought it was really neat to have an old broken clawfoot tub that they put a lot of flowers in, and those annuals are about gone. So I will clear out of the way and make my way down here. I have a central air unit here in the house, and it is like a year old and it kicks ass. Really does. Up on the top, that's an old school FM antenna. You remember those little radio dial deals? Well, now you hook it up to one of those special receivers and it turns from analog into a digital. So now we have digital reception on our TVs here in the house. This small little path, this is the only thing that's back here. The whole purpose of this thing right here is the burn barrel. Not only is it a burn barrel, but then there's the fire pit. So this goes down about 3 feet. It's all rock underneath it. So you collect and get a whole lot of brush. And there's been a lot of rain lately. So neighbors, and they've been gathering up a lot of their brush. And you want to talk about bonfires. Holy crap, brother. I mean, a lot of bonfires. I haven't got up the nerve to do this yet. But at some point, when I finally get through and clear out a whole ton of brush, I will. So I'm gonna head back. There's the back of the workshop. This awesome metal bird feeder. We've been teetering with a name for the place because every fancy little place has to have a name. And there's like 3 hummingbird feeders because this place is like plagued with hummingbirds. There are so many of them. Like seriously, that empty thing right there was full on Saturday, and they have drank all that shit since Saturday when we got here and moved in. Here's a big old prickly pear cactus patch and lots of awesome trees. This is another shed. There's the back of the workshop. This is the only window in there, so guess where the air conditioner is going? That's the underside of that. Electricity running out to the greenhouse. I'm kind of hoping you can see this all right, but this is the garden. It's not a small garden by any means. There's lots of room for expansion, but we have flowers, we have honeysuckle in here right up in the front there's a Japanese type onion, and that this first box here is the Japanese onion, and right over here you've got regular bulb onions, which those are almost ready. They're ready when the whole stalk just decides to fall over. The one behind it has potatoes, and then there are some other miscellaneous things like some chives and some things. He's got lots of leftover tomato, whatever the fuck those are called. There's you put them on top of your tomatoes, and you kind of allow them to grow and wrap around them pretty good. And this is our wonderful composter. And this whole little thing right here, believe it or not, these big tall stalks are asparagus. When all this shit dies, that's all you do is you cut it down, and the new shoots will come in at the end of the winter, so you can redo it all. I'm here in this part of the property. This is about where I'm at now. That's facing south. There's my big ass shed. Oh, I forgot to show you my outdoor work area. So the outdoor work area is going to be nice because I can store all my cool shit, like the stuff it always gets in the way. You have your lawnmowers here. You know, I've got a chainsaw in the back. I got me 2 of the exact same freaking weed whacker and a tiller, and that whole thing is chock full of hand tools. Gotta have fishing poles, and right under there is the riding lawnmower. So I'm all set. Little strings here and there, and that's where you hang your onions. You get them to dry out so they get that nice crusty outside. They're not huge onions, they're like little bulb onions, but they're very good. They're very, very flavorful. And I don't know if you heard that, someone's decided to ride the shit out of their motorcycle. And heading back here, we have the greenhouse. So it doesn't look like much. It's got this wonderful side that stays pretty much exposed to the sun, but it's somewhat translucent, so you can kind of see. Look at this. This is ingenuity. This is nothing but a copper pipe with some holes poked through that shit. Fuck yeah. So when we're gonna clean this thing up a bit, it's got like a little mini heater that you use in the winter time. And this buzzing noise you hear is the outlet fan right there. And so you shield it off. There's plenty of light that comes on through here. You could even close this off even further if you need to make it a little darker. But it's got some amazing aloe plants in here. These are huge, but they grow like weeds anyway. They got 1 or 2 flowers that, you know, we were hoping they could live a little bit more. But it's our plan at some point is to do and have some fruit trees that start them out in the winter time. Do some strawberries in here so that they don't get gobbled up by the birds or the other rodents. Big pains in the ass here in the country. You get plenty of them. All right, this little area here is fairly dense with trees and such. There's a lot of dead wood that I need to cut down, but these trees over here are mountain cedar, and they smell magnificent. But if you have crazy allergies with mountain cedar, man, in January, February time frame, you're fucked. Which thankfully my family doesn't. This little building is the well, so you can imagine way down there on that end of the property is where the booster pump is, and this is where the well is at. So it actually pulls from the ground here, goes down